All right, welcome back to the Balance Experience podcast. How are you, Nico?
Very, very well. We just did a workout.
We just did.
Yes.
After our Christmas party on the weekend.
That was debaucherous.
Yeah. It's always tough after... in the month of December, workouts just seem to get a little bit tougher.
Yes. I wonder why.
It might have something to do with the weekends, but yeah, it was a good little workout, actually.
Now, apparently, sweating it out, training with a hangover, is actually not recommended.
Is that right? Yeah, you just feel better for it, though, don't you?
You do, because of the endorphins, which apparently is no different to drinking a cup of coffee.
Is that right? Interesting, yeah.
And I found that quite interesting. I saw a post about that by a good friend of mine, Luke Nelson.
Oh.
And he actually, there was a question that he posited of, do you run after on a hangover? And the answer is you could postulate that your injury risk goes up because of your under recovery, because your sleep is affected badly.
Don't get into REM sleep, yeah.
Yeah, you don't get into REM sleep, and therefore you're under recovered, and that is 1.7 times more likely to injure you the next day. So
it drops your testosterone for a good week as well, I'm pretty sure.
Alcohol?
Yeah, like if you binge a little bit.
Yeah, right.
But you feel better for it anyway. I was saying to Nico...
Not on the night.
Yeah.
Fuck, your testosterone.
Nothing makes you realise...
Sky high!
Nothing makes you realise alcohol's poison more than like a 15-minute EMOM on a Monday, so...
Yes, and that was a good EMOM too.
It was actually, yeah.
Andrew should have been there, but really,
That's
he was
right.
recovering from his own Christmas party, wasn't he?
Exactly, yes. He was. So,
welcome, Andrew.
yeah, welcome, Andrew.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
That's not a problem,
It's a
mate.
nice way to... A bit of a ribbing to start the day.
Exactly. No, it's good to have you on, Andrew. So today we've got Mr. Andrew Ponce on the podcast, owner of Chalk Up. And yeah, Andrew has a really interesting story to tell, which we're going to get into. So really good to have you here, mate.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Now, we've worked with you for several years now.
It's been a long time.
Maybe 4 or 5 years, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so.
And I remember the first conversation with you was originally about... I think it was about squat therapy, but what ended up happening was we started talking about injuries and stuff, and I literally think I got you to do Turkish get-ups.
Yeah.
And is that what happened? Is that how you recall it?
I think the first introduction to you was through Luke Barra.
Barra, right.
Yeah. So back then, like I was in the car with him on the way to pick up some equipment somewhere, just giving him a hand. And I started telling him about my injuries and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, there's this really good chiro that you should go and see." And then I was like, "All right, I'll go check him out." And it turned out to be this guy.
Oh, right. You poor bastard.
Like, yeah, he's all right. No, but I mean, that's how it started. Like for me, it was that shoulder injury, and then that's how we got into, I guess, talking injuries and stuff, and all of that. Yeah.
There you go.
And you got him doing Turkish get-ups, did you?
Yeah.
I think that was the first prescription over the phone.
That was the first one.
Over the phone.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then it was kind of like, this is just on the phone. It was like, this is what my issue is.
Yeah.
And Nick's just like worked his magic through the
phone.
Through the phone
Yeah.
somehow.
Telepathy.
Yeah.
Telepathy.
It's just a mind
He
game.
would have been bang on too, I reckon.
Yeah, and then it's like, just do this and
Yeah.
see how you go. And then I started doing that, and then
Got better.
started feeling changes straight away.
There you go.
It's like, all right, this guy, he kind of knows what he's talking about.
It was a good guess.
Yeah.
It's like, what a fluke.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it started, yeah.
Everything we do is educated guesswork at the end of the day.
Yeah,
so-
well, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Just depends on how many mistakes you've made.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've made a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that's it.
So
Yeah.
that's how you get good, though.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Well, I think a little bit. You mentioned Jacko introduced that you are the owner of Chalk Up,
Yep.
but Chalk Up might need to be explained. So, what is Chalk Up?
Chalk Up, I guess from the outside, Chalk Up is a CrossFit gym. It's a box. It's a place to come and train and just do some cool stuff.
Yeah, nice.
But I guess from the inside and for myself and a lot of members that are there, it's like a little family.
Yeah.
It's like that community stuff. So yeah, it's a cool place.
That's good. So I guess obviously as we go on, we're going to get into your story, and there's obviously a big part of your story which we're going to get to. But you know, with your gym and owning your gym, what does training mean to you? Would you say, or what does CrossFit training mean to you?
I think initially it kind of started as a way to kind of improve myself.
Yep.
A lot of it did start like aesthetics, as most people do get into training. When I first got into training, I was a bit chubby, so I kind of went through like different stages. Growing up, where I was just really skinny, or I was just
Dude, it sounded like you cut yourself some slack there as well. I was a bit chubby. Did you have a lot of work to do?
I mean, not too much.
Yeah.
I had the big round face kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
But I was like skinny fat.
Just like never trained sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah, never really did much.
Because that's like, where I started too.
Playing in the playground was the exercise I would get during lunchtime, and then that was it. I used to eat a lot, and I guess growing up with, in a South American family, it's like you eat, and then it's like
all day.
Culture, eat more, and then there's more, and then how about some more?
Oh, wow.
So
you're talking to a little Greek boy here, so
Honestly, I reckon the South Americans have the Greeks
covered
hand over fist.
You reckon?
I reckon.
Yeah.
I don't think there's. Yeah. I reckon the South Americans eat way more than the Greeks.
Carb heavy as well. Sometimes
Is it?
some of the dishes.
It's just rice on
Mate,
rice.
I was lucky to get Vegemite sandwiches for lunch.
Yeah.
And, some shapes, so,
But
just different cultures.
I used to snack.
It's just
snack between snacks and just...
Wow.
And the soft drinks were ridiculous. So my grandparents would buy like 20 bottles of soft drink and have to hide them in the garage somewhere, and I'd find them and just demolish all of them.
Devour them.
Holy
So
moly.
Easily have like 3.5 liters of soft drink a day.
Yeah, right.
wow.
So when did you start training then?
Probably
A day?
Yeah, a day. It was
Whoa.
pretty bad. It was in high school, like maybe year 8 or something.
Okay.
Because I had heard the year before, like going into year 8, they do like a fitness test, and I was like, I don't want to suck at that. So
Was that the beep
I
test?
got to get into... No, they had like some push-up test, a sit-up test.
Right.
Like a 1.6K run or something, like a mile run kind of thing.
Make you do Murph.
Yeah, Murph, that's what I was thinking. Murph in year 8. Here's a 10-kilo vest.
We actually we did Murph on Saturday.
Oh.
And
Good
I'm
job.
destroyed
brutal.
today. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so sore.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like for me, that was the first motivation. Like, I guess through primary school, I was kind of like that chubby kid. I did get kind of teased and bullied a fair bit as a kid. And then, I guess going into high school, I was like, I don't want to have that same kind of thing. So I wanted to kind of make a change. So I just started doing push-ups and sit-ups and just stuff that you see like Rocky do in the movies and whatever. And that was it. I started doing that. Fitness test came along, did all right. I got the quickest 1.6K run
Oh, wow.
for my year, and I was like, that's pretty good.
Jeez. That's awesome.
And then from there I got into basketball. I was playing basketball for a little while, but then weight training probably started more in like year 11, 12, somewhere around there. I had, so this is like 2004. Around there. So 2004 I started, and it was just like dumbbells in my backyard kind of thing, and I had a bench, and then I'd have mates come over and just train together.
It's awesome.
And it was that kind of thing, that kind of a setup. But yeah, so for me it was, there was a lot kind of behind why I wanted to start training, and a lot of that did come from, I guess, the emotional things that I was carrying when in primary school, like going through that kind of stuff, and I was like, I don't want to be like that anymore. And that's what kind of made me change.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty common story of why people start training. Like you start training to change your body shape or your body composition, and then like once you start to learn, like I was actually having this chat with Nico this morning, like once you learn what training does for you, your perspective on why you do it changes quite a bit.
Yes.
Like we were saying, like our training now is just to feel good and get through our workday a little bit better, so, and have that energy high. So that's really interesting. So
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you feel that, because a lot of people, if let's say they're overweight and they look at themselves in the mirror and there's a there's an element of self-loathing,
Yeah.
right? I'm sure that you hear that regularly.
Yeah.
I know that that's something that a lot of coaches hear, or if they don't hear it, then it's just the secret truth that the member's not sharing if they're overweight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of this comes down to, building self-love and that you're good enough as you are. However, you can't hide. You can tell yourself a story, but you can't hide how you feel. Now, do you think that it's a more powerful driver to be self-loathing, or do you think it's a more powerful driver for other people to make you feel excluded? Because you've been through...
I think for me, it was definitely from other people that started it.
Wow.
Okay.
And then from there, it was, I guess, the self-loathing. And then that kind of stayed for a lot longer. Because then even as you start to change your body and even start to look a lot better or feel better and everything, there's still that element there where you're like, is this good enough still? Like, I don't think I'm there yet.
Right.
And there's always like that, I guess, trying to strive for the perfect body, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how close you get to that. Like, you just look in the mirror and it's like, it's not there yet. There's still, like, a lot of the times I still feel like I'm that skinny fat kid.
Yeah.
Like
Currently?
skinny arms,
Now?
fat gut. Yeah, like
right.
even till now, some days, like,
Wow.
if I go, because
Amazing.
my training is very inconsistent at the moment because of a few things that we've been through.
Yes.
So yeah, there's days where I'm just like, I'm in the gym, I'm coaching and stuff, and I'm like, I really need to start training again. I just feel like I'm getting back to that.
Yeah, right.
And it's,
I think that would be critical for members of any gym to hear that
Yeah.
the coach goes through the same process as the member, just at different levels.
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
That's because
100%. That's what
I'm
members
sure
go
your
through.
members see you and their perception is very different. Like
Correct.
thinking it's very easy journeying for you. Like you have a gym, it's there for you, it's available. But that's really interesting to hear how it can sometimes be a little bit of a struggle as well these days to get your training in. So
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
It's an irrational process, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's like us, like we're in pain
Fascinating.
often, like
Yeah.
it's we deal with the same problems that our patients deal with, our clients deal with, which gives some perspective as well, which is a really
Huge.
powerful tool.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with people on a fitness journey, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. So then, when did your CrossFit training journey begin?
So that was because I got into just training.
Yep.
Then because I was training my mates in my backyard, I got into PT. They were like, you love this stuff. I was researching the stuff all the time to try to like learn how to train properly.
Yeah.
And they said you should do this for a living. So I became a PT, and then I guess fast forward, kind of like 6 years in, is when I got introduced to CrossFit.
Wow.
So I had just been training, I guess, your usual bodybuilding type
Yep.
training, that kind of stuff. Functional movements were in there to an extent, but it's all kind of, because I guess most people's goals that came to me was an aesthetic thing.
Sure.
And that's the main kind of training that you learn, even when you do your like Cert 3, Cert 4, that kind of stuff. It's all kind of isolation work, some compound work, but all just bodybuilding type
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the trainers there, he got his level 1, and he started, talking about CrossFit, how it's, it's the way of the future. This is how we train.
Wait, is this circa
athletic.
2010?
This is, no, this would be like 2012, I
Okay,
reckon.
so just a bit,
about
yeah,
2012.
It's about right.
Yeah, so I started PTing in 2008, and
CrossFit was
Yeah.
very much underground still at 2012.
so yeah, 2012, like I got introduced to CrossFit by one of the trainers,
Yeah.
and he took me through a workout that I'm sure a lot of people have heard of, Fran.
Yep.
And at the time,
That was your introduction to
that was
CrossFit?
my introduction.
What was
to
your time?
CrossFit.
Do you remember?
Oh, I remember everything.
That would have hurt bad for someone who's only done bodybuilding training.
So yeah, for me, my overhead position, which is not amazing now,
Yeah.
was amazing.